4D here with another ship's roster review. And today I'm going to be looking at Kenobi's ships, and this is his fleet. I've already looked through his profile a little bit, and the two things I'm going to say that you really got to do Kenobi is you got to gear a tank, and you got to focus on ship's gear going forward, because there are several ships you just really need the gear for going forward to make a good fleet, and you can't really make a great fleet out of what you currently have, based off the star level of some of the ships you currently have as well. So you just got to focus down on things that you need going forward. So I'm going to talk about several things with you. I know you like Galactic Republic, so I'm going to talk about what a good Galactic Republic fleet is going to look like. I'm going to tell you this: I don't think you're prepared for it right now, based off the ships you have access to. I'm going to give you the best possible fleet that I think you can use at the moment, which is probably going to take some gearing just because you don't have a tank. And I'm going to tell you the easiest possible fleet I think you can get to in the fastest and most reasonable amount of time, gear-wise and everything. And you might not like that one either, but I think it might be one of the better options for you at the moment. So let's go and look at your actual ships here. I'm going to tell you a couple of specific ships first that you just got to work on just because they are excellent and you need access to them. The first one is the Ghost. Ghost and Phantom are both super plug and play in terms of ships. You really got to gear these guys. They are useful in the top end arena. Going ahead and preparing them means you don't have to prepare them when it comes time for you to finally get the Millennium Falcon, whenever that shall be. So Ghost doesn't hurt. On top of that, if you're getting Ghost, you want to have Phantom. They don't necessarily have to be on the same team, but Phantom is the best reinforcement in the game. I know you've used it previously, and you have the gear up for Ezra. You really need gear Chopper and Sabine and get the stars up on Sabine. I know you don't want to do that. She's on a hard node, but she's on a cheap hard node. She only will take 60 energy a day to get up. She's not as bad as the others, so I would really think about doing her and just getting her out of the way so you don't have to worry about it. And you want to have the Phantom 7-star. You just have you gotta sit down and be like, I want a good fleet, and work on characters that are going to get you a good fleet. And these are two that you just absolutely need in the long run and the short run, in some cases, for a great fleet. The other thing I said you really need is a tank. And you really only have two options for a great taunting tank, specifically taunting. There's only 4 taunting tanks in ships. They're all decent, but you have 2 that are the best option, and the best option out of those 2, and the better one out of those 2, is Biggs Darklighter. Biggs Darklighter is an excellent ship, rather plug and play. He's going to work in a Rebels fleet in the long run. You gotta gear him though. It's going to get his health up. It's going to get his protection up. It's going to get his speed up. Just everything. It's going to help out his ship overall. And the ship right now for you is super weak and doing nothing where it is. You got to get up Biggs. This is no question, Kenobi. And until you have Houndstooth, you got to have Biggs. The other tank you can go with, I suggest you do it anyhow because it's just good having the availability of more tanks in general, considering there's so few that taunt, is Sunfact's Geos Starfire. Sunfact is the hardest of the 3 Geos to gear, and you can get it 7-star rather easily through both Galactic War shipments, I believe, and ship shipments, so not too bad there. for right now with shipments, you really should not be trying to buy the Zetas out of there. What you should be doing is getting up the ships that you need out of their 7-star, um, because this is going to get to you to your goals faster. And on top of that, in the long run, having this is hopefully going to get you more Zeta, more ship currency to buy more Zetas in the long run. So look at it as an investment in yourself. And there's probably some characters you want out of there too. So that doesn't hurt at all to have access to those characters. And you can probably be farming 2 or 3 things out of there at once. But Sunfact is another great tank, though Biggs is really the one you want to go with for any current fleet that you might be running. So let's look at a current fleet that you may want to run. I really think there's one main option. It's going to be a Chimaera lead for you with Biggs, TIE Advanced, and then either TIE Fighter or Ghost. But the problem is you also need to get TIE Advanced up. TIE Advanced is only 5-star for you, and you don't have Vader geared. Vader's a decent character overall, maybe not as great as Palpatine, but he's surely usable in areas of the game like territory battles, and he has some uses in Grand Arena and Territory Wars, even though he's not as prominent. So gearing him up doesn't hurt. I really think this is another ship you gotta have for a current fleet that you're gonna run. And that current fleet is going to require Biggs and TIE Advance on the starting lineup, along with either Imperial TIE Fighter or Ghost. This is a real beginner lineup. It's not going to do great in the long run, but it should do decent at the time being. If that doesn't work for you, I don't know what to say, but regardless, you gotta have a tank. So regardless, you gotta have Biggs up. As reinforcement, Phantom, again, best reinforcement of the game. You just got to get it 7-star, work on Sabine, and work on Chopper so that you can get more damage out of it. It should do okay at the moment, I would imagine. Although Sabine could probably use 1 or 2 more gear levels before, if you don't think it's going to do great for you. And yeah, I hope I'm not being too harsh, Kenobi, but I can really tell that you gotta just focus on some ship stuff, because the stuff you have, I can tell is more stuff that you have just because you use the characters elsewhere or you really love the characters like Anakin and Ahsoka. For a second reinforcement, if you can get Ghost up, that'll work. Ahsoka can work as a Dispeller. You want to have a Dispeller. Casting Ewing in the long run is the best Dispeller, but Ahsoka will work. Anakin will work if you need something to just come in and deal damage. Other options, Sunfac, if you can get it up, makes a great extra tank to come in and just soak up some damage when you need it. A Slave 1 can soak up some damage if you need it as well, but that's going to require getting Boba Fett's gear up, which again, you probably want to do for Chewie, but you also need the ship 7-star. And yeah, you just gotta focus on some things here. So, but that's really the fleet I suggest you use at the moment, but it needs work. That's the problem. So, at the moment, probably your best option might be running the Galactic Republic fleet you've currently put together until you've worked on these other things better. For a Galactic Republic fleet, though, if you want to work on some stuff specifically for that, either way, regardless, you gotta have a tank, and there's no great Galactic Republic taunting tank. But some things to know is the best Galactic Republic fleet, or a decent Galactic Republic fleet. I don't know what the best one offensively or defensively in arena is, but the one I'm suggesting I know is great defensively in territory wars. It's going to be, which you don't even have unlocked, it's going to have Houndstooth and Xanadu Blood in the starting lineup. And then um, it will also have Umbara in the starting lineup. It's tanky. It doesn't taunt, which is why I haven't suggested you geared it for your normal fleet. But for Galactic Republic fleet specifically, you'll want to get the Umbaran Starfighter up. And then as reinforcements, you'd start off with Ahsoka Tano's Jedi Starfighter. You go into Anakin's ETA. Then you'd have Plo Koon's Starfighter. Plo Koon works as another version of the Scimitar, so Plo Koon is decent. And then you would want, then you would just use a 4th Galactic Republic ship or something like Lando's Millennium Falcon that makes a great 4th reinforcement. But I personally wouldn't suggest going after that because you're nowhere close to having the Houndstooth. If you need something to work on now to have a fleet, now I would suggest working on that first fleet I suggested to you because it's the closest thing you have to currently having ready that would work decently in Arena. But in the long run, it's not going to work great in Arena. And something that I think for the long run that will work a little bit better for you is going to be the Geos. The Geos have great synergy with another. Once you get the Houndstooth up, you can plug the Houndstooth in until you get a Millennium Falcon team, or until you get a. There are a couple better teams than the Geos out there, but they're not. But the Geos generally have still been able to compete in the metas where those teams existed. So you want to get some fact, Geos Soldier and Geos Spy up. Geos Spy and Geos Soldier's gear really isn't that bad, but the problem is you gotta 7-star these guys as well. But it doesn't hurt to go ahead and start working on them while you're 7-starring them. Same with Sun Fact, you gotta work on his gear, you gotta work on 7-starring the character and the ship. But again, these guys are in fairly easy to farm places. And the ships are even easier to farm than the characters to get up to 7-star. And the gear on Geospy and Geosoldier is not that bad. So you can probably double down and get those up within the next month or two if you really want it. And that would give you a great fleet option alongside some of the stuff you already have, which would be Phantom 2 as a reinforcement. TIE Advance as a reinforcement works great. A second tank like Biggs works great. It works great under Chimaera Executrix or Home 1 leads. You really should work on gearing these guys. I don't see why you don't have Thrawn geared. Thrawn is literally the best plug-and-play character in the game. But the other thing is, if you're going to use Chimaera, which you probably should be based on what you got, is you got to have some Rebel ships 7-star. You have Ghost and Big 7-star, and you nearly have the Phantom. I think you have to have at least 4 Rebel ships 7-star. I could be wrong. It could be 5. It's changed since I unlocked my Chimaera. When I unlocked my Chimaera, it's 5 plus the Home 1 7-star, which you're getting closer to. And for those other 2 ships, I would personally suggest Cassian G-Wing and Biston G-Wing, just because they're great ships and they're a lot more usable than Wedge's X-Wing in the meta. But if you need an easier ship to farm, Wedge's X-Wing will work well for you as well. So I personally think the best thing for you to do is to work on the Chimaera fleet with TIE Advance, Biggs, and either TIE Fighter and Ghost as the starter. TIE Fighter is already up, so you wouldn't have to worry about Ghost, but you really should work on Ghost. Then Phantom as a reinforcement alongside probably Ahsoka, so that you have a Dispeller and probably Anakin, so that you have someone who can come in and deal decent damage. But I really think having another Taunter or something, uh, another Taunter in the form of Slave One or Sunfact would be decent, or Scimitar. I didn't say it earlier, but Scimitar would make a decent reinforcement in that fleet as well. If you want a much better fleet to focus down on that will take you slightly longer, I suggest the Geos. You also just you want to be concerned with unlocking the Chimaera 7-star when you can. Um, I'm not saying, Kenobi, that you have to be as focused in on ships as I am, but in order to get a good fleet, you are going to have to temporarily focus on some stuff. I would personally say the Geos would be the best thing at the moment to focus on until you get the ships necessary, 5/7 star, to get to the Hans Millennium Falcon. That will open up some more doors. But underneath much of the stuff I have suggested are some overall good characters. The Phoenix is a good team. Boba Fett's a good character. Cad Bane's a decent character. The Geos, I imagine, will be reworked soon. That's one of the few where the characters underlying it aren't as good. But the Geos are still, their ships are still some of the best in the game outside of a Hans Millennium Falcon fleet. Thrawn is a great character you really should have up. Um, Again, though, you can go with the Galactic Republic option I told you, but that's not great because you don't have Houndstooth at the moment, which is one of the ships that makes that team alongside Xanadu Blood. Just aren't at the space where you can use them, and you really should. At this point, most people who have it much higher level, so you really shouldn't be using it till 6-star, even though way back when you could use it at 4-star. Um, so I hope these suggestions have helped you, Kenobi. Reach out to me if you have any more questions. It's really all I have for you. Just gotta focus down on some stuff. It'll take you maybe a month or two, but hopefully you get some other good underlying character teams underneath that, and you should be rising in arena once again. Uh, Again, I think the most imperative thing for you is getting a tank. Um, but I hope that helped. Talk to you later, Kenobi. This is David 4040 signing out.